Mastering intentional camera movement. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. This video will explore advanced techniques for mastering intentional camera movement to create stunning abstract images. We will cover topics such as choosing the right shutter speed and aperture settings, understanding how to control the movement and directionality of the camera, and experimenting with different lighting conditions and environments. We will also discuss various compositional techniques for ICM photography, such as using leading lines, patterns, and shapes to create a sense of movement and depth in the image. So, how you can take your ICM images to the next level? To begin with, you should consider the impact of camera settings on your ICM images. In particular, shutter speed, aperture, and ISO can all play a critical role in shaping the final image. When it comes to creating intentional camera movement photography, the shutter speed is the most crucial settings to consider. By using a slow shutter speed, such as 1/15th of a second or slower, you can create the characteristic blurring effect that is synonymous with ICM. However, it's essential to remember that the aperture and ISO settings can also play a crucial role in achieving the desired effect. When working with ICM, it's worth experimenting with different aperture settings to see how they affect the overall look of your images. For instance, adjusting the aperture can affect the depth of field in the image. A wide aperture such as f2.8 can create a shallow depth of field and blurred background, while a narrow aperture such as f16 can create a greater depth of field and add sharpness to elements in your scene. Similarly, adjusting the ISO can help you achieve different effects in your ICM images. A lower ISO, such as 100 or 200, can result in a cleaner image with less noise, while a higher ISO, such as 800 or 1600, can create a more textured, grainy effect. But it is not just about the camera settings. The camera's movement plays a crucial role in shaping the final image. You will want to consider how different movements, for example panning, tilting, or spinning the camera, can create a different visual effect. For example, a subtle circular movement may create a more ethereal and dreamlike effect, while a more aggressive vertical or horizontal motion may create a more dynamic and energetic image. Additionally, you may combine ICM with other photographic techniques to create more complex and layered images. For example, you can use ICM with multiple exposures to create surreal and otherworldly images. You may also experiment with different angles and perspectives to create new and unexpected compositions. But perhaps the most important aspect of ICM is the elements of chance and spontaneity. Unlike other photographic techniques that require precise planning and execution, ICM allows for a high degree of improvisation and experimentation. You should be willing to take risks, try new things, and embrace the unexpected and unknown. Creating a compelling ICM images require more than just random camera movement. It requires careful consideration of composition. One compositional technique used in ICM photography is the use of leading lines. Leading lines are lines in the image that draw the viewer's eye into the photography and towards the main subject. In ICM photography, those lines can be created by the movement of the camera or by the presence of physical lines in the scene. The camera's movement can create curved or diagonal lines that lead the viewer's eye through the image. Repeating patterns and shapes are particularly useful in ICM photography because they create a sense of rhythm and movement in the image. This movement can be both visual and psychological, as the viewer's eye is drawn into and through the image in a continuous and fluid way. When using ICM techniques, patterns and shapes can be created by the movement of the camera or by presence of patterns and shapes in the scene. This technique can be particularly effective when used with architecture, where the straight lines and angles of building can be transformed into curved lines and create a sense of flow and energy. Another way to use patterns and shapes in ICM photography is by identifying them in a scene and using them to create a composition that emphasizes their rhythm and movement. For example, you could use the repeating shapes of tree branches to create a sense of movement and depth in a landscape. Intentional camera movement is a technique that you can use to create complex and nuanced images that convey a range of emotion and moods. By considering the impact of camera settings, movement, and the combination of other photographic techniques, you can create images that are both technically accomplished and emotionally powerful. If you are seeking additional assistance with ICM, I recommend enrolling to my online course, The Magical World of Slow Shutter Speed. This course will provide you with an in-depth understanding of ICM techniques and how to capture stunning photographs using slow shutter speed. You can find a link to the course in the description below. Don't hesitate to join and take your photography skills to the next level. That's all for today. Thank you for watching and see you next time.